Hello, thank you for joining us today. This is the third episode of a multi-part series on this channel called Making a Strong Patent. This series will examine various aspects of what makes a patent a strong patent. In this specific episode, we'll be talking about capturing the spirit of the invention. To capture the spirit of the invention means to go beyond the specific implementation you've chosen and try to capture the essence of what it is that your invention accomplishes. Doing this helps create claims that can cover competitors' attempts at solving the same problem that your invention addresses. What exactly is a strong patent anyway? Well, a strong patent is a patent that issues with one or more claims that have strategic and/or economic value. So I mentioned claims, and as a quick refresher, claims are the legalese at the end of an issued patent that states specifically what the patent covers. Basically, the claims spell out what others are not allowed to do without your permission. If someone or something is covering all the elements of one of your claims, then your patent is said to have been infringed. An infringement of your patent may make you eligible for damages, which is often monetary compensation, or it may give you leverage for selling or licensing your patent. So if someone else can solve the same problem you are solving without performing all the steps of your claim, they don't infringe your claim. So the idea is, can we write claims that are more likely to be infringed by other people trying to solve the same problem? If you need an introduction to what the claims are, check out the patent claims introduction video, which I'll put a link to in the description below. So what is capturing the spirit of the invention? The idea here is that we want to give some thought to preventing design around, which is when a competitor changes something to avoid infringing our claims, and thus our patent then can't be used to force them to stop their activity, or better yet, pay us money for doing the activity. So here's an example that I took from the auto industry. Now, while General Motors does in fact have multiple patents in this area, what I've done here is edit the claims and change them a bit for the purposes of simplification and illustrating the examples that I want to present to you. So these are not the exact words of the claims from a General Motors patent, but hopefully this will give you the idea. So let's take a look at this claim. So we have a vehicle that includes a power lock system and an automatic transmission. When the power lock system is configured and disposed to go to a lock configuration upon detecting a transition from a park gear to a reverse gear. So basically what this means is that as soon as you shift from park to reverse, the power locks lock. And note that even in this implementation, if you are planning to go forward by putting the car in drive, you pass through reverse first. So basically, no matter what happens, we transition from park to reverse, and in fact, the power locks lock when that happens. So you saw the video showing our implementation, assuming that we are playing the role of General Motors here, and you can see that this claim covers our implementation. So if a competitor tries to do the exact same thing as us, our patent claim here should cover it, and we can force our competitor to cease and desist or request a royalty or patent sale to enable our competitor to continue. However, we aren't capturing the spirit of the invention with this claim. How can we do that? How can we change this claim or add other claims to help capture the spirit of the invention? First, let's ask ourselves, why are we doing this? What's the purpose of this invention? Well, it's safety, right? As we drive around, we want the doors locked so we don't fall out and nobody can get in. So now I'll ask the question, how else can we get this effect? How else can we get the doors to lock automatically without doing what our claim says? I'll put the claim back on the screen, and if you are able to, I suggest pause the video here and take a look at this claim for 2 or 3 minutes and think about other ways we can accomplish the spirit of the invention without doing each element of this claim. Okay, moving on. Let's see how Volkswagen addresses this issue. Here again is the GM claim, transition from park to reverse is what it covers. And it's on the transition from park to reverse where we're going to lock the doors. Now let's see what Volkswagen does. The Volkswagen products activate the locks when the vehicle speed exceeds a predetermined limit, say 10 miles per hour. The trigger mechanism is speed of the vehicle. It has nothing to do with the transmission gear. So the original GM claim that is specific to the implementation is not going to stop Volkswagen here in our example. So there's one problem. It does not cover a product that triggers the locks based on vehicle speed. But we have even more problems. Take a look at this vehicle here. This is a newer vehicle than what was shown in the video. It has a push-button transmission. What's that mean? Well, with this push-button transmission, I can go straight from park right to drive. I do not have to go through reverse to get to drive with this setup. So here is another way to beat this claim. And you might be thinking, well, this patent was written 20 some years ago. We wouldn't have known to expect this push-button configuration. But that is exactly what a good patent professional will try to do. Look for ways to try to broaden your claims and make your patent a little bit more future resistant. And by the way, these push button arrangements are not new. Here is an arrangement from a 1964 Chrysler. Interesting that it doesn't even have a park gear. So this one definitely would not infringe our claim because it doesn't even have a park gear to begin with. And that, of course, reminds us of manual transmissions where, again, there is no park gear. So let's take another look at our original claim to cover the GM implementation and see how we can broaden it to capture the spirit of the invention. First, let's look at this clause. Transition from park to a reverse gear. That's totally unnecessary. Let's just leave it here without the transitioning to the reverse gear. This way, if we go out of park to any other gear, whether it's reverse or directly to drive or a low gear, our claim covers it. As long as we're coming out of park, that's our trigger to lock the power locks. Then we can add another claim like this. This covers the implementation such as the Volkswagen implementation where we use speed as a trigger. Of course, to be effective, we need to get these claims on file before our competitor comes up with this implementation. We can't do it after the fact. But when we were writing the original patent 20 years ago, assuming the competition, in this case Volkswagen, had not yet developed a solution, as we, GM, may have had a chance to patent this implementation as well. But take a look at the claim again. The word forward may be yet another unnecessary limitation. What if we just say detecting motion? Then, if we detect forward or reverse motion, we can then cover the implementation with this claim. So to recap, here are two claims we can include in our fictional patent. The first one covers the GM implementation, transition from a park gear, and the second one covers the Volkswagen implementation based on speed. So by thinking about the spirit of the invention when we write our claims, we can help reduce the risk of design around, thereby helping to make a strong patent. I have another video that specifically focuses on design around with an example. See the link for that video in the description below. So just to recap, you want claims that cover your solution, the thing you are doing in your product, and also you want claims to cover the way others might solve this problem even if you don't necessarily intend to solve it in that way. So just to recap once again, by capturing the spirit of the invention, you increase your chances of having a strong patent. So once again, thanks for checking out this episode of Inventor's Quick Tips, and we hope to see you again soon.